Hello and a warm welcome to all my dear little girls and boys in grade 5. I have come once again as I promised you with my English lesson for you. And today we are going to start our lesson number 5. Unit number 4, it's lesson number 5. Grade 5 එකේ මගේ පුංචි දුවලා පුතාලව ඔන්න බලන්න ටීචර් ආයෙත් ආවා. ටීචර් එදා කියලා ගියානේ ආපහු එනවා කියලා පුතාලට ඉංග්‍රීසි ලෙසන් එක අරගෙන. ඔන්න පුතේ අද ටීචර් ආවා. පුතාලට අද ඉගෙන ගන්න තියෙන්නේ lesson number 5. We are in unit number 4. Unit number 4, we are talking about let's celebrate. It's all about celebrations that happen in our country. What are we going to talk about in lesson number 5? It's a very, very beautiful traditional event that we are going to talk about. When you look at the pictures, you can see the things that we are going to talk about in our lesson today. It's all about the Kandy Perahera. Kandy Perahera. Kandy Perahera is a traditional pageant. නුවර පෙරහැර ගැන පුතේ අද අපි කතා කරන්න යන්නේ. පුතාලා දුවලට මේ ස්ලයිඩ්ස් දකිනකොටම පේනවනේ. අපි අද කතා කරන්න යන්නේ අපේ රටේ තියෙන ඉතාම වටිනා සංස්කෘතික අංගයක් ගැන. It's a traditional pageant. The people from all over the world come during this Perahera time to Kandy to witness this beautiful pageant. So we are going to learn about it. We are going to look at the different items in the Perahera. We are going to learn some new words related with all this. I want you to bring your pupils' book and your workbook. Sit with me and we are going to start our English lesson now. Let's talk about the Kandy Perahera. Now in my happy cloud, I have 4 new words for you today. We are going to take a look at them. Now you know, in our happy cloud, we learn the words. Sometimes they are the words that you have already learned, but they are going to have a special place in the lesson that we are going to learn, because you will come across these words during the lesson and you are going to use them in different sentences. And we are going to learn the Sinhala meanings as well. So, when you look at these words, when you read them, and when you learn, when we do the lesson, you know what they mean and how we use it. Right. So, first we have the word when. W-H-E-N. When. මොකද්ද පුතේ මේ when කියන වචනේ තේරුම? කවදාද? When is this going to happen? කවදාද මේක වෙන්නේ? When කියලා කියන්නේ කවදාද කියන එක. Then we have the word who. Who මොකද්ද පුතේ? Who කියලා කියන්නේ. කවුද? Who කියලා කියන්නේ කවුද කියන එක තමයි සිංහල තේරුම. Who කියලා කියන්නේ අපි කවුද? ඒ කවුද? Who is that? Who is this? Who කියලා කියන්නේ අපි පුද්ගලයෙක් ගැන කතා කරනකොට කවුද මේ? මේ කවුරුන්ද? කවුද කියලායි අපි සිංහලෙන් පුතාලා දුවලා නිතර පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. Who is this? කවුද? Then we have what. What කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? What is this? මේ මොකක්ද? මොකක්ද? What. Then we have the final word how many. How many? කොපමණ ප්‍රමාණයක්ද? How many? ඒ කියන්නේ කී දෙනෙක්ද? කොපමණ ප්‍රමාණයක්ද? අපි කියන්නේ කොච්චරක්ද? How many? How many children are there in your class? How many elephants are there in the Kandy Perahera? How many? Right? So these are the 4 words that you are going to use in this lesson today. Now at the same time, children, I have to tell you something very important. දැන් පුතේ මේ වචන 4 දිහා පුතාලා හොඳට බලන්න ආපහු. When, who, what, how many. When ඒ කියන්නේ කවදද, who කවුද, what මොකක්ද, how many කීයක්ද කොපමණ ප්‍රමාණයක්ද. Now when you read these 4 words, can you see that these 4 words are question words? Question words. මෙතන පුතේ words 4ක් කිව්වට how many කියනකොට අපිට වචන දෙකක් තියෙනවා. So there are 5 words here. Right? And they are question words. අපි ප්‍රශ්න අහන වචන තමයි question words. ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි ඒ වචනයෙන් අපි අහන්නේ පුතේ. ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි අපි ඒ වචනෙන් අහන්නේ. When කියන එක ප්‍රශ්නයක්නේ. When is your birthday? ඔයාගේ උපන්දිනේ කවදද? Who කවුද? ඒ කවුද? Who is that? හැම වෙලේම ප්‍රශ්නයක්. Always it's a question. What is this? What are you doing? They are all questions. Then we have how many. How many friends do you have? How many apples did you eat? They are the question words. So now in our lesson today, while we are talking about the Kandy Perahera, we are going to concentrate on questions and answers. Okay? So I think through learning about the Kandy Perahera, while learning about Kandy Perahera, you are going to come across some sentences, some words which are question words, which are answers. And at the end of the lesson, we have to write questions. We have to make questions for the answers that are given in our paragraphs. So now we are going to move and come to our workbook, and we are going to take a look at our lesson. Come with me. So now this is how we are going to start our lesson from your pupils book. Now I hope you have your pupils book and your activity book, the workbook, which we have to do our writing activities. I want you to have both books with you because we are going to read this lesson, learn from this lesson from the pupils book, and then we have to complete our workbook activities. Right? So now we are going to start our lesson. Everybody must listen to the teacher, try to understand, and we are going to find the question words and the answers. Okay, and we are going to talk about the Perahera. It's a beautiful traditional pageant, and I have brought you so many beautiful pictures as well. Let's read and start our lesson like this. The students of Gajaba Vidyalaya went to Kandy. Now, where is the Perahera? Where is our Perahera happening? It is in Kandy, right? So the students of Gajaba Vidyalaya went to Kandy. They went to see the Kandy Perahera. Now the children of Gajaba Vidyalaya, they went to Kandy to see the Kandy Perahera. They wrote about it for the class wallpaper. They wrote about it. They wrote about what? They wrote about the Kandy Perahera for the class wallpaper. For the class wallpaper, they wrote a beautiful article about the Perahera that they saw in Kandy. දැන් මගේ පුතාලටත් ඉස්කෝලේ තියෙනවා නේද බිත්ති පුවත්පත කියලා කියන්නේ wallpaper. Wallpaper බිත්ති පුවත්පත් අපි බිත්තිවල එක එක අපි ලියපු රචනා එක එක කවි අපි ඒවා බිත්තියේ එල්ලනවා නේද පුතේ නිකම්ම ගිහිල්ලා බිත්තියේ ගහන්නේ නෑ බිත්තියේ එල්ලපු ලස්සන බෝඩ් එකක් හදලා අපි ඒකට බිත්ති පුවත්පතක් කියලා කියනවා. In English we say wallpaper. So in each class you have to have a wallpaper. So now in Gajaba Vidyalaya, those children, they have a wallpaper in their class. So now after they go to Kandy, after they come from Kandy, after they watch the Perahera, they have written about the Perahera and they have put it on their class wallpaper. So now let's take a look at the things that they have written about the Kandy Perahera, and at the same time I have brought you some pictures. Now in your pupils book you don't have much pictures about the Kandy Perahera, but I have brought you so many beautiful pictures. Let's move forward and learn about the Kandy Perahera. Right. Now this is this beautiful traditional event called the Kandy Perahera. අපි කැන්ඩි පෙරහැර කියන්නේ පුතේ මහනුවර පෙරහැර කියන එකනේ. කැන්ඩි කියලා කියන්නේ නුවරට, මහනුවර. එතකොට නුවර පෙරහැර කියලාත් අපි කියනවා මේ කැන්ඩි පෙරහැර කියන එකට. Then we use other different names as well. We say ඇසල පෙරහැර. ඇසල පෙරහැර මංගල්‍ය කියලා කියනවා පුතාලා අහලා තියෙනව නේද? එතකොට ඇසල පෙරහැර, නුවර පෙරහැර කියලා කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ මහනුවරදී පවත්වන පෙරහැරට. So this perahera happens in Kandy. So we say Kandy Perahera. So I hope you all know what this is. This is the Dalada Maligawa, the temple of the sacred tooth relic. අපි මගේ පුතාලා grade 5 එකේ මුල පාඩම් කරනකොට අපි කතා කෙරුවා. දලදා මාලිගාව ගැන පුතාලා කතා කෙරුවා. එතකොට ටීචර් කියලා දුන්නානේ කොහොමද අපි දලදා මාලිගාවට ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කියන්නේ. We say දලදා මාලිගාව, and at the same time we use the word the temple of the sacred tooth relic. දලදා මාලිගාව කියන එකට ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කියන්නේ temple of the sacred tooth relic. Sri Dalada Maligawa. So now in this picture, such a beautiful picture, and we are so proud of our history. As a nation, we are so proud of our Kandy Perahera because UNESCO has named the Kandy Perahera a World Heritage. ලෝක උරුමයක් විදියට නම් කරලා තියෙනවා පුතේ යුනෙස්කෝ සංවිධානයෙන් මේ ඇසල පෙරහැර, මේ නුවර පවත්වන මේ මහනුවර දලදා පෙරහැර. ඒක යුනෙස්කෝ සංගමය විසින් නම් කරලා තියෙනවා ලෝක උරුමයක් විදිහට. ඉතින් අපිට හරි වටිනවා මේ නුවර පෙරහැර කියන එක. It's a world heritage. The UNESCO has named it as a world heritage. So it is something which is very, very valuable. You cannot value the worth of this Kandy Perahera. It's so sacred. It's traditional. It's you don't see any other Perahera or any other pageant like this in any other country. අපිටම ආවේනික වෙච්ච අපේම රටේ මේ දලදා පෙරහැර අපිට හුඟක් වටිනවා පුතේ. So now that is why the children in Gajaba Vidyalaya they have gone to Kandy and they have watched the Perahera and they have come back and they have written to their wallpaper about the Perahera. So now we are going to talk about the Kandy Perahera, and this is how those students have written about this beautiful pageant. Now this is from your pupils book, children. We are going to read, and then I have brought you additional pictures and we are going to talk about the Perahera. Okay? Now I want you to look at the words. Look at the paragraphs because we have some sentences in black color. We have some sentences in purple color. මගේ දුවලා පුතාලට ඔන්න හොඳටම පේනවා. දැන් මේ පුතාලා දුවලාගේ pupils book එකේ පුතාලා දුවලා පොත දිගෑරලා බලන්න පුතේ. When you look at the paragraphs, මේ ඡේද දිහා බලනකොට දුවලා පුතාලට පේනවා සමහර sentences black color, සමහර sentences තියෙනවා purple color. Right? So now here we are going to look at the purple color sentences very carefully because those sentences are an answer for the question. අපිට මේ දම් පාටින් දීලා තියෙන sentences පුතේ ප්‍රශ්නයකට එන පිළිතුරක්. අපි මේ දම් පාටින් දීලා තියෙන sentences හොඳට කියවලා අපි මේ lesson එක ඉවර වෙනකොට ඒ sentences වලට අපි questions හදනවා. At the end of the lesson At the end of this lesson about the Kandy Perahera, after you read the paragraphs, after you concentrate on the purple color sentences, we are going to form questions for these sentences. That is a very important activity that we do in our lesson today. දැන් teacher පාඩම පටන් ගන්න කලින්ම දුවලා පුතාලට කිව්වේ. එතකොට පුතාලා දුවලා පාඩම මුල ඉඳලා මේක කියවගෙන යනකොටම මේ අපි දම් පාටින් ලියලා තියෙන sentences ගැන වැඩි අවධානයක් දෙන්න ඕනේ නිසා. Right. So now we are going to start our lesson. Open your pupils book. Turn to this page. Lesson is all about the Kandy Perahera and you have these paragraphs in your book. Right. So to begin our lesson, we are going to start reading the first paragraph. The Kandy Perahera is a beautiful pageant. The Kandy Perahera is a beautiful pageant. Pageant එකක් කියන්නේ පුතේ ලස්සනට පෙරහැර ගමන් කරනවානේ. The Perahera is a pageant with lots of different dancers, with different traditional items. So it is a pageant. We call it a pageant. The Kandy Perahera is a beautiful pageant. Now look at the purple color sentence over here. It is in August. It is in August. King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. Please concentrate. Listen carefully. මගේ පුතාලා හොඳින් අහගන්න දැන්. The Kandy Perahera is a beautiful pageant. It is in August. It is in August. Now, just because you go to Kandy, whenever you go to Kandy, can you see the Kandy Perahera? මගේ පුතාලා අවුරුද්දේ ඕනම දවසක නුවර ගියොතින් පුතාලට පෙරහැර බලන්න පුළුවන්ද? අපිට හිතෙන ඕනම දවසක ගියොත්? No. The Perahera takes place only in the month of August. අගෝස්තු මාසේ තමයි පුතේ පෙරහැර තියෙන මාසේ. අවුරුද්දේ අනිත් මාසවල් වල පෙරහැර තියන්නේ නැහැ. We call it the Asala Perahera. The Kandy Perahera is also known as the Asala Perahera. Asala කියලා කියන්නේ පුතේ සිංහල ක්‍රමයට අගෝස්තු මාසෙට. Asala මාසය කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. Asala Perahera. So this Perahera happens only in the month of August, not in January or February or any other month. It is only happening in August. අගෝස්තු මාසේ තියෙන පෝයට තමයි අපි මෙන්න මේ පෙරහැර තියන්නේ පුතේ. So you have to go to Kandy in the month of August in order to witness the Kandy Perahera. Right. It is in August. Look at the next sentence in purple. King Kirti Sri Rajasingha. King Kirti Sri Rajasingha කියන්නේ කවුද පුතේ? කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ කියන රජ්ජුරුවෝ. කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ කියන රජ්ජුරුවෝ තමයි පුතේ මේ පෙරහැර මුලින්ම පටන් ගත්ත කෙනා. King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. කවුද එතකොට පෙරහැර කරන එක මුලින්ම පටන් ගත්තේ මොන රජ්ජුරුවන්ගේ කාලෙද? It was during the time of the king Kirti Sri Rajasingha. King Kirti Sri Rajasingha is the king who ruled the up country, the hill country at that time, and he was the king of our country. So during his time, the Kandy Perahera was started. King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. මුලින්ම පෙරහැර පැවැත්තුනේ කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ රජ්ජුරුවන්ගේ කාලේ කියන එක තමයි එතන කිව්වේ. Now we are going to take a look at the paragraph once again. Read it carefully. You must read. You must understand. You must listen. And then you have to keep this in mind. And it's easy for you to answer the questions. The Kandy Perahera is a beautiful pageant. It is in August. Now what is the month that we have the Perahera? It is in the month of August. King Kirtisri Rajasingha started it first. Now, who started this beautiful pageant first? It was the king. It was the king Kirtisri Rajasingha who started it first. Right, now we are going to move on to our next slide. Now, I have brought you pictures that are relevant to what you have already read. Look at this. This is King Kirtisri Rajasingha. This is a picture of this great king, Kirtisri Rajasingha. And he ruled our country from the year 1747 to the year 1781. කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ කියන රජතුමා තමයි පුතේ පෙරහැර කියන එක මූලින්ම ආරම්භ කරේ. එයා කොච්චර කල් අපේ රටේ හිටියද? 1747 ඉඳලා 1781 වෙනකන්. He ruled our country. අපේ රට පාලනය කෙරුවා from the year 1747 to 1781. What is the name of this great king who started the Kandy Perahera? King කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ. ඔන්න මගේ පුතාලා දැකලා නැත්තම් බලන්න පුතේ මේ තමයි කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ රජතුමා. Right. Now we are going to move forward and see some more beautiful pictures of the Kandy Perahera after we read our second paragraph. Now, in your pupils' book, you have the second paragraph and we are going to read it like the way we read our first paragraph. Now, you had a look at the king who started this Perahera, King Kirti Sri Rajasingha. Right, now this is our second paragraph. First, you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. ඔන්න මගේ පුතාලට දැන් මෙතන පේන්නේ දම් පාට sentence එකක්. Look at the purple color sentence. First, you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. Now, I hope most of you have seen a perahera. මගේ පුතාලා පෙරහැරක් බලලා තියෙනවනේ හුඟක් මගේ දුවලා පුතාලා. පෙරහැර පටන් ගන්නකොටම ඔන්න අපිට පෙරහැර පටන් ගත්තා කියලා ඇහෙනවා දෙයක්. මොකක්ද අපිට ඒ ඇහෙන්නේ? First, you hear මුලින්ම අපිට ඇහෙනවා the whip crackers. The whip crackers. කවුද පුතේ whip crackers කියලා කියන්නේ? මගේ පුතාලා හොඳට දන්න කෙනෙක්. whip crackers කියන්නේ පුතේ කසකාරයට. පෙරහැරේ ඉස්සල්ලාම එන්නේ කසකාරයෝනේ. whip cracker. මොකද්ද කසකාරයට කියන ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කියන නම? whip cracker. Now we learn these things in English in order to learn the names, the specific names that we use to describe each of these characters. මගේ පුතාලා ඉංග්‍රීසි වචන ඉගෙන ගන්න තමයි මේ පාඩම් අපි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කරන්නේ පුතේ. ඉතින් හොඳට අහගෙන පුතාලා මේ අලුත් වචන ලියාගන්න. Now I always tell you, you have to keep an extra book with you. You can write down the little new words that you learn and you are going to learn many new words with a lot of new meanings. Right? ඉතින් පුතාලා දුවලා එක්ස්ට්‍රා බුක් එකක් තියාගෙන මේ දේවල් ලියාගත්තට කමක් නැහැ. නැත්තම් පොතේම හරි පුතාලට පැන්සලෙන් ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්. So who is a whip cracker? Whip cracker කියලා කියන්නේ කාටද පුතේ? කසකාරයට. First, you hear the whip crackers. මුලින්ම අපිට ඇහෙනවා කසකාරයන්ගේ ශබ්දය. Whip crackers cracking their whips. Cracking their whips. whips කියන්නේ මොකද්ද පුතේ? whip එක කියන්නේ කසයට. කසකාරයට තමයි අපි whip cracker කියලා කියන්නේ. whip cracker කියනවා කසකාරයට, whip කියලා කියනවා කසයට. Right? So first you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. කස ගහනවා. කසකාරයා කස ගහනවා අපිට මුලින්ම ඇහෙනවා පෙරහැරේ. They lead the perahera. They lead the perahera. Isn't that so? What do you mean by that? They lead the perahera. Perahera මුලින්ම පෙරහැරේ ගමන් කරන්නේ මේ කසකාරයෝ. They lead the perahera. ඒගොල්ලෝ තමයි පෙරහැර පටන් අරගෙන ඉස්සල්ලාම ඉස්සරහට එන්නේ. Then we have the flag bearers, sword carriers and fireball acrobats come next. අපි හිමීට කියමු පුතේ. The flag bearers. මගේ පුතාලත් කියවන්නකෝ. The flag bearers, sword carriers, and fireball acrobats come next. මගේ පුතාලා බය වෙන්න එපා ඒවා අමාරු වචන කියලා පුතේ. අපි කියලා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරමු. Right? Now who are the flag bearers? කාටද පුතේ flag bearers කියලා කියන්නේ? Flag bearers කියන්නේ පුතේ කොඩි අරගෙන යන අයට. Flag bearers. කොඩියක් අරගෙන යන එක්කෙනාට තමයි කියන්නේ flag bearers. පෙරහැරේ ඉන්නව නේද කොඩි අරගෙන යන අය. There are flag bearers in the Kandy Perahera. So flag bearers. Then next we have sword carriers. Sword carriers. කාටද පුතේ sword carrier කියලා කියන්නේ? Sword carrier මොකද්ද sword කියලා කියන්නේ? කඩු. කඩුවට තමයි sword එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. එතකොට කඩු අරගෙන යන අය ඉන්නව නේද පෙරහැරේ? Sword carriers. We call them the sword carriers. දැන් අපි කසකාරයාට කිව්වා whip cracker කියලා. Now these are the new words that we are learning. Whip cracker. Then we had the flag bearers. කොඩි අතින් දරාගෙන අරගෙන යන අය. Flag bearers. Then we have sword carriers. Sword carriers. කඩු අරගෙන යන අය. ඔන්න දැන් පුතාලා දුවලට හොඳට පෙරහැරක රූපෙ මැවෙනවා නේද පුතේ? You all can see the beautiful images of a beautiful perahera. We have the whip crackers, then we have the flag bearers coming in, and then we have sword carriers. කඩු අරගෙන යන අය. And fireball acrobats. Fireball acrobats. කවුද පුතේ fireball acrobats කියන්නේ? Fireball කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? ගිනි බෝල. ඔන්න මගේ පුතාලා දැන් දන්නවා. Fireball acrobats කියන්නේ පුතේ ගිනි බෝල කරකවන අයට. ගිනි බෝල කරකවන අයට මොකක්ද අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කියන්නේ? Fireball acrobats. Fireball ගිනි බෝල acrobats ඒක කරකවන අය. ගිනි බෝල කරකවන අය. Fireball acrobats come next. Now who comes first? Tell me, who are the people who come first? The whip crackers. කසකාරයෝ ඉස්සල්ලාම එනවා. Then comes flag bearers, sword carriers, and fireball acrobats come next. මුලින්ම කසකාරයෝ එනවා, ඊළඟට කොඩි අරගත්තා එනවා, ඊළඟට කඩු අරගත්තා එනවා, ඊළඟට කවුද එන්නේ පුතේ? ගිනි බෝල කරකවන අය. Fireball acrobats. See what a lot of new words that you can learn in English. Right? So these are the things that you have to remember. Right? So we learned the word whip cracker, we learned the word flag bearers, we learned the word sword carriers, and another special word fireball acrobats. Gini bola karakavana aya. They come next. So that is the order of the way they come in the perahera. Right? Now we are going to take a look at the pictures. I have brought you all those pictures like this. Now can you see the whip crackers? මෙන්න ඉන්නවා පුතේ කසකාරයෝ. මගේ පුතාලට පේනවා නේද කසය මේ තියෙන පුතේ? Whip crackers have the whips with them. කසය ගහලා කස ගහන ශබ්දය තමයි අපිට මුලින්ම ඇහෙන්නේ. So these are the whip crackers. Then comes the flag bearers. Can you see the flag bearers? කොඩි අරගෙන එන කට්ටියට තමයි ඔන්න පුතේ flag bearers කියලා අපි කිව්වේ. ඔන්න මගේ පුතාලා පිච්චර් එක දැක්කා. Then we have the sword carriers. මෙන්න කඩු අරගෙන යනවා පේනවද පුතේ? මෙහෙම ලස්සනට කඩු අරගෙන sword carriers come following the flag bearers. මේගොල්ලෝ එන පිළිවෙලක් තියෙනවා. ඒකයි මේ විදියට කියලා තියෙන්නේ. Then we have the fireball acrobats like this. මෙන්න පුතේ ගිනි බෝල කරකවන අය පුතාලට පේනව නේද? ගිනි බෝල. Fireball acrobats. Okay, we have the whip crackers, කසකාරයෝ, flag bearers, කොඩි ගෙනියන අය, sword carriers, කඩු අරගෙන යන අය, fireball acrobats, ගිනි බෝල කරකවන අය. So now we know all of them. Now we are going to move on to our pupils book once again and read our next paragraph. Now look at this. පෙරමුණේ රාළ and හේවිසි troops follow them. Oh, now listen to this. පෙරමුණේ රාළ. Who is පෙරමුණේ රාළ? I'm going to show you a picture. Please wait with me. Okay? පෙරමුණේ රාළ and හේවිසි troops. ඔන්න පුතේ මේ බලන්න මේ වචනේ දිහා. පෙරමුණේ රාළ කියන එක සිංහල වචනයක්නේ. පෙරහැරේ ඉස්සල්ලාම කසකාරයෝ ඇවිල්ලා ඒ පිළිවෙලට කට්ටිය ආවට පස්සේ එනවා ඔන්න පෙරහැරේ තියෙන වැදගත් character එකක්. පෙරහැරේ වැදගත් පුද්ගලයෙක්. One of the most important people who lead the පෙරහැර after the whip crackers and the flag bearers, the fireball acrobats and all of them comes the main person, the පෙරමුණේ රාළ. Then the පෙරමුණේ රාළ is followed by the හේවිසි troops. මොකද්ද පුතේ හේවිසි troops කියලා කියන්නේ? හේවිසි කණ්ඩායම් තියෙනවනේ. හේවිසි ගහන කණ්ඩායම් තියෙනවා. හේවිසි ගහන කණ්ඩායමට තමයි හේවිසි troops කියලා කියන්නේ. පෙරමුණේ රාළ and හේවිසි troops follow them. දැන් කවුරු පිටිපස්සෙන්ද මේ එන්නේ? පෙරමුණේ රාළයි හේවිසි ගහන අය. අර පුතාලා දුවලට කලින්ම කිව්වනේ ඒක ඕඩර් එකකට ඉන්නේ කියලා whip crackers and all of them. After that comes the පෙරමුණේ රාළ and the හේවිසි troops. Some නිලමේස්, drummers and Kandyan dancers are next in line. දැන් අපිට මේ කියන්නේ පෙරහැර එන පිළිවෙල පුතේ. This is the order of the පෙරහැර. How the පෙරහැර comes on road. How it is, how the pageant comes. That is the order. So after the පෙරමුණේ රාළ and the හේවිසි troops comes some නිලමේස්. කවුද පුතේ නිලමේ කියලා කියන්නේ? We will have a look at the pictures, okay? But we will read first. Some නිලමේස්, drummers. Who are the drummers? බෙරකාරයෝ. අපි බෙරකාරයෝ කියලා කියන්නේ. එහෙමනේ අපි පෙරහැරේ එන අයට කතා කරන්නේ පුතේ. So after the නිලමේස්, the drummers and Kandyan dancers. Kandyan dancers. උඩරට නැට්ටුවෝ. Kandyan dancers are next in line. That means next in line කියන්නේ ඊළඟට එන්නේ ඒ කට්ටිය. කවුද එන්නේ පුතේ? After the පෙරමුණේ රාළ and the හේවිසි troops, we can see some නිලමේස්. නිලමේ කියලා කියන්නේ ලස්සනට අර ඇඳුම ඇඳලා ලස්සනට රජ්ජුරුව වගේ ඉන්නේ පෙරහැරේ. They are the නිලමේස්. Then the drummers and the Kandyan dancers are next in line. Then we have the Kandyan dancers add beauty to the perahera because the perahera is so elegant and it's so traditional, and the beauty of the Kandyan dancers make the perahera look even more beautiful and elegant. So they dance so beautifully. Those traditional dancers give extra value and elegance to the Kandy Perahera. So we have all of them. I have brought you pictures. You can see all these beautiful dancers and the drummers and all of them like this. Now this is the පෙරමුණේ රාළ which we were talking about. පෙරමුණේ රාළ. In the name itself it says පෙරමුණේ රාළ, which means the person who goes in front. පෙරමුණෙන් ඉස්සල්ලාම යන එක්කෙනා තමයි පෙරමුණේ රාළ. And he is the person who carries the letter or the details about the perahera, which has been traditionally taken like this in a beautiful silver ornament like this. The letter which says that they can hold the perahera, it is legally, it is that the letter has got permission. It's a kind of permission carrying to say that they are holding the perahera. So he carries it. Peramune rala tamai pute me perahera කරගෙන යන්න ඒ තියෙන මේ ඒක ඒ අවසර ලැබිලා ඒගොල්ලෝ පෙරහැර ලස්සනට කරගෙන යනකොට පෙරහැරේ ඉස්සරහින්ම එන්නේ පෙරමුණේ රාළ තමයි. මේ විදිහට ලස්සනට පෙරමුණේ රාළ තමයි ඉස්සල්ලාම ඇතෙක් පිට නැගලා එන්නේ. So the පෙරමුණේ රාළ comes on a beautiful big elephant and he comes first. So this is the person whom we call පෙරමුණේ රාළ. And then we have another Nilame. Who is this? Now this name did not come in our paragraph, but I would like to teach you. This person is called the Gajanayaka Nilame. Gajanayaka Nilame. He comes actually after the Peramune Rala. Okay? Because he is the person who owns the elephants in the Dalada Maligava. He is the person who looks after all the elephants that belongs to the temple of the sacred tooth. මේ ගජනායක නිලමේ කියන කෙනාට තමයි පුතේ මාලිගාවේ ඉන්න අලි ඇත්තු හැම දෙනාම බලා ගන්න රාජකාරිය තියෙන යාට තමයි. He is the person who looks after them. He is responsible for all the elephants and the tuskers in the Dalada Maligava. So he is the person who is in charge of them. So he plays an important role in the Dalada Maligava. He is called the Gajanayaka Nilame. Can you see? He's holding this stick kind of a thing which looks after the elephants. That is a symbol where it says that he owns all the elephants and the tuskers in the Dalada Maligava. That he is the person in charge of them. Right. Then we have the other Nilames. Right. In our paragraph it said Nilames follow the dancers, and then we have the Peramune Rala and everybody. So these are the Nilames who have dressed up like those ancient kings, and they look so beautiful, so elegant, and they are so proud to walk in that Perahera with a very proud face. They walk like this. So it's a beautiful sight. It's something very, very important that you must go and see the Kandy Perahera, the beauty of the Kandy Perahera. Okay, so this is the Peramune Rala, then the Gajanayaka Nilame, and there are the other Nilames, right? So now we are going to take a look at our next set of pictures. Now we have the Hevisi troops. I hope you can see the Hevisi troops. These are the people who are there in the Hevisi troop. They play the drums, and they play the trumpets, different types of trumpets, and they add those music is being played, and the Hevisi troops comes after with the Nilames and the Peramune Rala and the flag bearers and all of them. Then we have the Kandyan dancers. Can you see how beautiful their costumes are and how beautifully they dance? What an elegant way to look in the Perahera, right? So those are the Kandyan dancers. Udarata Nettuo. උඩරට නැට්ටුව කියලා තමයි අපි Kandian dancers වලට සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ පුතේ. So these are the drummers. මෙන්න බෙරකාරයෝ, බෙරකරුවෝ, බෙර ගහන අය, හේවිසි ගහන අය, බෙර ගහන අය, Kandian dancersලා. ඔන්න පුතාලා හැමෝම දන්න දේවල් දැකලා තියෙන පින්තූරු. අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කියන වචනත් එක්ක තමයි අද අපේ ලෙසන් එකේ අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න. So we have the Hevisi troops, then the Kandian dancers, and then the drummers. Right. Let's move on to our next slide. Right. Now, here we have our next paragraph, which explains us, which tell us about the beautiful Kandy Perahera. Look at the purple color sentences once again. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. What does that mean? The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. The tusker. ඒ කියන්නේ පුතේ ඇතා. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. ශ්‍රී දන්ත ධාතුන් වහන්සේ වඩම්වවනවා. the tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. මොකද්ද පුතේ? අපේ දළදා වහන්සේ වඩම්මවනවා කියන එක. නේද? දළදා කරඬුව කියලා කියන්නේ කරඬුව අරගෙන යන්නේ කවුද පුතේ? ඇතෙක් තමයි අරගෙන යන්නේ. So it is called the tusker. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. Now you have to learn this. Sacred tooth relic කියන්නේ දන්ත ධාතුන් වහන්සේ. Sacred tooth relic. Okay? Then the දියවඩන නිලමේ. The දියවඩන නිලමේ and other නිලමේස් follow the tusker. Now after all those whip crackers and the flag bearers and the sword carriers, then the Peramunirala, the Gajanayaka Nilame and the other Nilames, after they all go, then comes the tusker who carries the sacred tooth relic. And then the tusker is being followed by the Diyavadana Nilame and other Nilames. The Diyavadana Nilame and other Nilames follow the tusker. Now this Gajaba Vidyalaya students, the students of the Gajaba Vidyalaya, they have witnessed the Perahera. So now they have written about it and they have given us the order of the Perahera, how they saw the different Nilames and the dance troops and the Hevisi troops and the flag bearers, and all of them have come in a particular order. So they have written it like this. So the Nilames, the Diyavadana Nilame and the other Nilames follow the tusker. So those Nilames go behind the tusker who carries the sacred tooth relic. Over 100 elephants take part in this event. Over 100 elephants. අලි ඇතුන් 100කට වැඩි පිරිසක් මේ පෙරහැරේ සහභාගී වෙනවා කියලා තමයි පුතේ මේ කියන්නේ. Over 100 elephants take part in this event. Now can you see there are two purple color sentences here. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. Then we have over 100 elephants take part in this event. Remember those purple sentences. We are going to make questions for these purple color sentences, right? Okay. Now once again, the tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. The Diyavadana Nilame and other Nilames follow the tusker. Over 100 elephants take part in this event, right? So now this is how they take part in the event. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. Can you see the big tusker? ඇයි පුතේ tusker කියලා කියන්නේ? මේ බලන්න මේ තියෙන tusks. අපි දල ඇතෙකුගේ දලවලට කියන්නේ අපි tusks කියලානේ. tusker කියන්නේ අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඇතෙක්. Right? එතකොට ඇතෙක් තමයි පුතේ දලදා වහන්සේ වැඩමවන්නේ. So can you see the sacred tooth relic is being carried by this tusker? Can you see what a beautiful, majestic picture? We are so proud of our history, aren't we? We are so proud of the ancient pageants that we have. We are so proud of our beautiful, valuable history. So this is how the tusker comes out of the temple of the sacred tooth, carrying the sacred tooth relic. Okay? Right. Then we have the Diyavadana Nilame. Diyavadana Nilame. Who is this? Diyavadana Nilame is the main Nilame in the Kandy Perahera, the Kandy Dalada Maligava. Diyavadana Nilame is the person who is responsible, who looks after and who takes care of the sacred tooth relic. He is in charge of the Dalada Maligava. He is the person whom the priests have given authority to look after the Dalada Maligava and take the responsibilities of the sacred tooth relic. He is called the Diyavadana Nilame. He looks like this, very majestic. Look at the way he is walking. Look at the clothes he is wearing. He looks like a king. He represents the ancient kings by wearing these type of Nilame suits. මේ තියෙන්නේ පුතේ නිලම ඇඳුම් ඇඳලා ඒ කාලේ හිටපු රජගොල්ලන්ව අපිට මතක් වෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ව නියෝජනය කරන්න ඒගොල්ලන්ව මතක් වෙන්න මේ විදියට ඇඳලා මේ විදියට මල් මාලා දාලා they have all the garlands මොනවද පුතේ මල් මාලා වලට ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කියන්නේ garlands කියලා. He is wearing a lot of garlands and it's so beautiful, very beautiful clothing, very majestic. Can you see the beautiful big umbrella that is here? So that all depicts the majesty of the Kandy Perahera. So this is the Diya Vadana Nilame. Then we have our last paragraph in the pupils book, the last paragraph. The 4 Devala Peraheras go after that. Now, after the sacred tooth relic is being carried by the tusker, then comes the Diyavadana Nilame along with the other Nilames, and then there are 4 Devala Peraheras. මගේ පුතාලා අහලා තියෙනව නේද? දලදා මාලිගාවට තියෙනවා දේවාල 4ක්. There are 4 Devalas. So, all the Devala Peraheras come after the main Perahera and after the tusker who carries the sacred tooth relic. After the tusker moves forward, the Diyavadana Nilame along with the other Nilames, after they walk, then comes the 4 Devala Peraheras. What are the 4 Devalas, children? Devala 4ක් තියෙනවා මගේ පුතාලා අහලා ඇති. නාථ දේවාල, විෂ්ණු දේවාල, කතරගම දේවාල and පත්තිනි දේවාල. Those are the 4 Devalas in the Kandy Perahera. Now these are the things that you have to learn as Sri Lankans. It doesn't matter even if you're not Buddhists, even if you all are Catholics, or even if you all are Muslims or Hindus, you have to learn these things because we are all Sri Lankans. We are so proud about our history. And this is a traditional cultural pageant which has been named as a World Heritage from the UNESCO. So we all have to learn about it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be Buddhist to learn these things. So we have 4 Devala Peraheras in the Kandy Perahera, right? So the 4 Devala Peraheras go after that. The Perahera lasts for more than 3 hours. Oh, Perahera lasts for more than 3 hours. ඒ කියන්නේ පුතේ පැය 3ක් විතර අපිට මේ පෙරහැර පාරේ ගමන් කරනවා. පෙරහැර බලන්න අපිට පෙරහැර යනවා බලන්න අපිට පැය 3ක් විතර යනවා. 3 hours. පෙරහැර lasts for more than 3 hours. පැය 3ක විතර දිග ලස්සන පෙරහැරක් තමයි මේ Kandy පෙරහැර. Now look at the purple color sentence. People around the world come to see it. People around the world. Now, if you have been to Kandy during this Perahera season, you must have seen what a lot of tourists come to see the Kandy Perahera. They get ready. Now, the Perahera starts in the evening, but from early in the morning, from daytime itself, they come and sit on either sides of the roads, and then they get ready to witness this beautiful pageant. පිට රටින් ආපු අපේ රටට එන විදේශිකයෝ ගොඩාක් ඇවිල්ලා දවල් ඉඳලම පෙරහැර බලන්න ලෑස්ති වෙලා ඉන්නවා. මගේ පුතාලා දැකලා ඇති නුවර ගියා නම් පෙරහැර කාලෙට නේද පුතේ? So this is one of the most valuable, very very beautiful traditional pageant that most of the people in other countries, foreigners, they know the value of this history. They love our country. They come to our country to see this main Kandy Perahera. It is one of the beautiful traditional pageants that we have. So all over the world, people around the world come to see it. Who comes to see the Kandy Perahera? People around the world come to see the Kandy Perahera. So now the 4 Devala Peraheras go after that. The Perahera lasts for more than 3 hours. People around the world come to see it. That is our last paragraph. That is the last paragraph that the students of the Gajaba Vidyalaya wrote about the Kandy Perahera they saw when they went to Kandy for the wallpaper article they have written about the Kandy Perahera. So we have read all the paragraphs in our pupils book, and we are going to move forward and see what else we have. This is how the 4 Devala Peraheras will come. right? First, it is the Natha Devala. Now, these 4 Devalas have been given, they have their own colors. So, now the Natha Devala, the Tusker, who is dressed in this gold color costume, carries the Karanduwa like this. So, this is the Natha Devala Perahera. So, this is the one of the 4 Devalas. The first one is Natha Devala. Then we have the Vishnu Devala Perahera, which is followed by the Natha Devala Perahera comes first, and then follows the Vishnu Devala. Vishnu Devala has the blue color. Their color is the blue color, and the Tusker is now dressed beautifully with a nice blue, bright blue elephant clothing, and then he carries the beautiful Karanduwa like that. Okay, so we have the Natha Devala and the Vishnu Devala. Then we have another 2 more Devalas. Then we have the Kataragama Devala Perahera. This is the Kataragama Devala Perahera, which comes brightly dressed in bright red color. Red is the Kataragama Devala color, and you can see the Tuskers coming like this with the Karanduwa, and then you have the beautiful elephants along with the main elephant who comes like this, the main Tusker who carries the Karanduwa like that. After the Kataragama Devala, we have the Pattini Devala Perahera. Pattini Devala has the yellow color, right? So can you see the beautiful elephant dressed up in yellow and then carries the Karanduwa like this and walks majestically like this on the Perahera. So this is how the 4 Devala Peraheras come after the main Maligava Perahera, right? So now you have got an idea of how the Perahera is happening. After the Gajaba Vidyalaya students wrote about the Perahera, and I have brought you some beautiful pictures. I think now you all know how our beautiful traditional Kandy Perahera happens. Now, I hope you can remember I told you when we started our lesson to have a special look at the purple color sentences that we had in our paragraphs. I want you to look at it like this. Can you remember? We started our lesson with this paragraph. Now you have to write sentences. You have to write question sentences. Now at the beginning of our lesson, in the happy cloud, I think you can remember we had 5 words, some question words. Now what we have to do here, we have to concentrate on our purple color sentences. You have to take this sentence as an answer, and you have to make your own question sentence. මගේ දුවල පුතාලට මේ පැරග්‍රාෆ් එකේ තිබිච්ච මේ දම් පාටින් දාලා තියෙන sentences ටීචර් පාඩම පටන් ගනිද්දිම කිව්වා පුතාලා හොඳ අවධානයෙන් මේ දම් පාට දීලා තියෙන sentences දිහා බලන්න කියලා පුතේ. දැන් අපි happy cloud එකෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්ත question words. When, what, who, how many මතකයිනේ පුතාලට. දැන් අපි මේ දීලා තියෙන දම් පාට sentence එක උත්තරයක් විදියට එන්න අපි question sentences හදන්න ඕනේ පුතේ. Now in your workbook you have that activity where you have to make sentences, make question sentences as the purple color sentences coming in for answers. අපිට දැන් පුතේ බලන්න purple color sentence එකෙන් කියලා තියෙන දේවල් උත්තරයක් විදියට අරගෙන අපි question එකක් හදනවා. Now we will first of all look at the first purple sentence over here. What is our first purple sentence? It is in August. It is in August. ඔන්න අපිට දැන් it is in August කියන එක උත්තරයක් විදිහට අරගෙන අපි question sentence එක හදාගන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මගේ පුතාලා it is in August කියලා උත්තරේ එන්න නම් මොන විදිහේ sentence එකක්ද පුතාලා ලියන්න ඕනේ. දැන් අපි ඊළඟට කරන්න යන්නේ මගේ පුතාලා workbook එකේ activity එක විදිහට අපි කරන්න යන්නේ අන්න ඒක. දැන් අපි ඒක start කරනවා. We are going to read the paragraph. We are going to concentrate on the purple color sentences and we are going to form question sentences for these purple color answers. Right now we are going to make questions. In your workbook, now if you turn to your workbook, you will have a page like this. පුතාලදුවලගේ workbook එකේ මේ අපි දැන් හදන questions ලියන්න මෙන්න මේ විදිහේ activity එකක් පුතාලට තියෙනවා. All of you must turn to your workbook now. Now, as I told you, we are going to make questions for these answers. Now, the first one, it is in August. අපිට උත්තරේ එන්න ඕනේ පුතේ it is in August කියන උත්තරේ. දැන් මොකක්ද අපි question එක විදියට අහන්නේ? When is the Kandy Perahera? අපි එහෙම ඇහුවොත් හරිද? When is the Kandy Perahera? නුවර පෙරහැර පැවැත්වෙන්නේ කවදාද? ඒකනේ. When is the Kandy Perahera? So do you get the answer? It is in August. එනවා නේද පුතේ? It is in August කියන answer එක අපිට එනවා. අපි question එක කොහොමද අහන්නේ? When is the Kandy Perahera? Now you have to write the question and you have to write the answer like this. ඔන්න පුතා දැන් අපි question එක ලියලා අපි ඒකට හරියන උත්තරෙත් ලියනවා. ඔන්න teacher question එක මේ විදියට ලියනවා. When is the Kandy Perahera? 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 ඔන්න අපි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නේ අහුවේ. Now this is our question. You have to keep the question mark at the end of the sentence. Now can you look at the first word? When is the Kandy Perahera? Question word. Now what is the answer? Now we had the answer. It is in August. When is the Kandy Perahera? Now I'm going to write the answer using another color. දැන් ඔන්න teacher ලියනවා answer එක පුතාලට පෙන්නන්න. Red color එකෙන් අපි ලියමු අපිට දැන් answer එක ඇවිල්ලානේ තියෙන්නේ. When is the Kandy Perahera? You have to say it is in August. ඔන්න අපේ උත්තරේ. It is in August. A-U-G-U-S-T. When is the Kandy Perahera? මෙන්න තියෙනවා පුතේ question word එක. When is the Kandy Perahera? ඔන්න අපි question එක හැදුවා. අපිට answer එක අපේ paragraph එකේ තියෙනවා. Right. Now let's take a look at the paragraph once again. Next we have King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. ඔන්න Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first කියන උත්තරේ එන්න නම් අපි මොකක්ද අහන්න ඕන question එක? Right? Number 2. How are we going to ask the question? Who started it first? Who started it first? දැන් අපිට නමක්නේ තියෙන්නේ පුතේ. කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ කියන රජුරුව තමයි පෙරහැර පටන් ගත්තේ කියන එක උත්තරේට තියෙනවා. So අපි question එක කොහොමද දාන්නේ? Who started it first? Who started it first? Now I'm going to take my question. Write the question like this. Who started it first? මොකද්ද මෙතන it කියන්නේ පුතේ? පෙරහැර. Who started it first? Who started it first? කවුද පෙරහැර මුලින්ම පටන් ගත්තේ? ඔන්න දැන් අපිට answer එක ලියන්න පුළුවන්. අපේ paragraph එකේ තිබුණේ කොහොමද? King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. ඔන්න අපිට උත්තරේ ලැබිලා තියෙනවා. King Kirti Sri Rajasingha. Kirti. You must learn the spelling and write. King කීර්ති. අපි කිං කියන වචනේ ඉස්සරහට ගන්නවා. අපි සිංහලෙන් කියනකොට කියන්නේ කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ රජතුමා කියලානේ. අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කියනකොට අපි කිං කියන වචනේ ඉස්සරහට අරගෙන we say King කීර්ති ශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. Now look at the answer. King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. Look at the question. Who started it first? කවුද මේක මුලින්ම පටන් ගත්තේ? Who started it first? King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. Right. Now let's take a look at our next paragraph. First, you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. Right? First, you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. ඔන්න අපිට answer එක තියෙනවා. Now we are going to make the sentence for this answer. How are you going to do that? How will you make that question? The answer should be, first you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. How do you ask the question? What do you hear first? It's so easy. How do you write the sentence? What do you hear first? What do you hear first? මොකක්ද ඉස්සල්ලාම ඇහෙන්නේ? What do you hear first? That is your question. Now tell me, what is the answer? Now we already have the answer. What is the answer? First you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. First you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. Now we are going to write the answer in red color. First. Now the question is, what do you hear first? You must write first. Always start the sentence with a capital letter. First, you hear. First you hear. How do you write it? First you hear the whip crackers. Kasakarayo. The whip crackers. The whip crackers. The whip crackers. මොකද කරන්නේ whip crackers ලා? First you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. First you hear the whip crackers cracking. කස ගහනවා. Cracking. First you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. WHIPS and full stop. Now what is the question word here? What? What do you hear first? First you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. That is the answer. Now we will move on to our next slide. We have our next set of questions. Can you see? First, you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. So, napita answer එක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. Now, can you see? They lead the Perahera, the flag bearers, sword carriers, and fireball acrobats come next. ඔන්න අපිට එතන තිබුණේ purple color sentences එකයි. So, now we have completed that. Then we have some more questions to write. So you have to fill the other 3 as well. Now in your workbook, you have 6 questions. So we have completed 3 and now we are going to do the other 3. Now let's take a look at our next paragraph. Right. Now can you see the purple sentences over here which comes as our answers? ඔන්න පුතේ උත්තර විදියට අපිට එන තව sentences කීපයක් මේ paragraph එකේ තියෙනවා. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. ඔන්න දැන් අපිට ඒ උත්තරේ එන අපි question එක හදන්නේ කොහොමද? The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. How are you going to write the answer? Who carries the sacred tooth relic? Who carries the sacred tooth relic? ඔන්න දැන් අපි question එක ලියනවා. Number 4. Who carries? Who carries? Who carries the sacred tooth relic? Sacred tooth relic. මොකද්ද පුතේ sacred tooth relic කිව්වේ? ටීචර් පුතාලට කියලා දුන්නානේ. The sacred tooth relic. Who carries the sacred tooth relic? Shri Danta Datun Vahanse. එක තමයි sacred tooth relic. Now we have a sentence, the question over here like that. Now it's time for us to write the answer. Right? Now look at the answer. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. Now what is our question? Our question is, who carries the sacred tooth relic? And what is the answer? The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. ඔන්න දැන් අපි ලියනවා answer එක. Who carries the sacred tooth relic? The tusker. The tusker. The tusker. C-A-R-R-I-E-S. The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. The sacred tooth relic. Right. Now that is our answer. මොකක්ද answer එක? The tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. What is the question? Who? Who carries the sacred tooth relic? Question එක ඇහුවා. Answer එක අපි ළඟ purple color line එකේ තිබුණා. Right. Now we are going to move on to our next question. The answer should be, over 100 elephants take part in this event. Over 100 elephants take part in this event. Right? දැන් අපිට මේ answer එක එන්න අපි මොකක්ද අහන question එක. How are we going to make the question now? How can you say that? What is the question? How many elephants take part in the event? How many elephants take part in this event? You can say like that. So we are going to write the next question like this. How many? Can you see the question word? How many elephants? E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T-S. How many elephants take part? Take part කියන්නේ සහභාගී වෙනවා. Take part. How many elephants take part in this event? In this event. How many elephants take part in this event? දැන් මොකක්ද අපිට එන answer එක පුතේ මේකට? Over 100 elephants take part in this event. That should be our answer. That is our answer. We have it in the purple sentence. So the answer should be, now the question, how many? Can you see the question word? How many elephants take part in this event? You have to give the answer. over 100 elephants. Over 100 elephants. Over 100 elephants take part over 100 elephants take part in this event. Right. Okay, now what is the question once again? How many elephants take part in this event? Your answer should be over 100 elephants take part in this event. Now we had that in our paragraph as the purple color sentence. Over 100 elephants take part in this event. Right. Now we have our last answer and we have to make our last question. Can you remember we had in our last paragraph, people around the world come to see it. Now that has to be an answer. People around the world come to see it. මුළු ලෝකෙ වටේම මිනිස්සු පෙරහැර බලන්න එනවා. ඒක තමයි උත්තරේට එන්නේ. How are we going to form the sentence now? What is the word that you are going to use here? We have the answer, people around the world come to see the perahera. And the question can be, who comes to see the perahera? Who comes to see the perahera? Let's write the question like this. Who? Who comes to see the perahera? කවුද එන්නේ පෙරහැර බලන්න? That is our question. Who comes to see the perahera? Now we are going to find our answer and we are going to write. Now can you remember in the paragraph it said, people around the world come to see it. So you have to write the answer accordingly. People, you must write, people around the world. ලෝකෙ වටේම මිනිස්සු එනවනේ. People around the world. People around the world. Okay, can you see? People around the world come to see the perahera. Come to see the perahera. Right, now what is the question? Who? Who comes to see the perahera? And we have the answer, people around the world come to see the perahera. Okay, so now we have completed our questions and our answers. And here you have all the questions and answers. දැන් පුතාලට තවත් පැහැදිලි වෙන විදියට පුතාලගේ book එකේ pupils book එකේ තිබුණේ answers purple color එකෙන්නේ. Now in your pupils book you had all the answers in purple color. So now I have brought the answers to you in purple and I have the questions in black color like that. Okay, now look at the questions once again. We have the answers and the answers are already in your book. So you have to make the questions and the questions should be like this. Look at the first one. The answer is, it is in August. And what is the question? When is the Kandy Perahera? Can you see the question word here? When is the Kandy Perahera? Number 2. The answer is King Kirti Sri Rajasingha started it first. What is the question? Who started it first? Number 3. The answer is first you hear the whip crackers cracking their whips. That is the answer. What is the question? what do you hear first? Okay, then number 4. The answer is the tusker carries the sacred tooth relic. And what is the question? Who carries the sacred tooth relic? Then question number 5. Answer is over 100 elephants take part in this event. And what is the question? How many elephants take part in this event? Last one, the answer is people around the world come to see the Perahera. What is the question? Who comes to see the Perahera? So this is how we are going to make the questions and write them in your workbook. So now we have come to the end of our lesson. And I think you have learnt about the Kandy Perahera, the beautiful pageant, and you have learnt a lot of new words about the Perahera, and you saw beautiful pictures and how the flag bearers and the whip crackers, so many beautiful things. And it is all about our beautiful country, and we are so proud of all the historical events, aren't we? So now it's time for me to finish my lesson. මගේ පුතාලා දුවලා මේ lesson එකේදී question words ගැන හොඳට ඉගෙන ගත්තා. You all learnt about the question words like when, who, what, how. Those are the question words. So keeping everything in mind, you have to revise the work that we have done. දුවලා පුතාලා pupils book එකෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්ත question words, පෙරහැරෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්ත අලුත් වචන, ඒ ඔක්කොම දේවල් දුවලා පුතාලා නැවත නැවත මතක් කරලා පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ. So that is how you can improve your English. You can use these words when you write your essays. You can use them in your writing and make your writing very beautiful, very creative. So I'm very happy to end my lesson like this. So once again, you will have your English lesson with me very soon. Until then, take care.